So, like I said, I haven't changed a whole lot. Aerith is completely the same from the video and the stream last week, or from Wednesday. Nothing's changed at all. She's completely offensive. I have some defensive things on here just to try to keep her HP a bit higher, because the magic defense down that I have tied to Aerith is tied to her HP being above 70%. So having these extra defensive stats here makes it a bit easier to keep those stats up, to keep her HP a bit higher. Other than that, though, I just have an attack all allies weapon here to try to increase our DPS across the board. I don't know, and I haven't looked yet, if this would be better with a magic attack all weapon. She already has a magic attack all weapon in her main hand, so it would only take it from what? So right now we're getting 7% from attack all allies. Give her another magic attack all allies weapon, it goes up 6%. Yeah, so no, it's better just to have the attack all allies instead of boosting this to 7, right? Because this is giving us plus 7%, and if we boosted this it up, it would give us plus 6, which is a percent lower. So I'll keep this with the extra buff debuff extension, and that'll work fine, right? Buff debuff extension is at level 5, which increases the duration of our buffs and debuffs by 150%. This keeps the magic defense down buff on for long enough that by the time we need to reapply it, we should have our ability to heal back, which is pretty important. For Sephiroth, Sephiroth is completely offensive. The only thing that I have changed with Sephiroth, you'll notice his magic attack is a little bit higher than it had been previously. I took off his exploit weakness weapon and moved his protector's blade from his sub weapon to his main hand, and then I gave him an attack and magic ability potency weapon on his offhand to help boost up his damage a bit more. I was finding that there was really no reason for me to have his exploit weakness on his offhand, because I wasn't using it. I was just using his edged wings the entire time, and I'm letting Yuffie give him exploit weakness. It is 5% less damage overall than Sephiroth's exploit weakness weapon, so it is a little bit less damage, but he doesn't have to cast it twice now, meaning he's getting 2 more full cast of ice damage in, and that more than makes up for the 5% difference, in my opinion. So anyway, back on track, sorry. So Sephiroth is completely offensive. I have him with a little bit of boost HP here. This is just in case he ends up getting targeted by some single target abilities. At the end of the day, I don't think it really matters that much. I think he's gonna be fine. The sawed-off GS does give more magic ability potency, which is why I've got him with the sawed-off GS. It gets him 1 point below the level 7 point, which makes me kind of sad, but like, it's fine, right? It's fine. It's not the end of the world. I'm only losing 10% damage. And at the end of the day, you have to have that diamond completely filled to get the magic ability potency to even proc. And I mentioned this in the description of my YouTube video as well, but if you don't have something that increases your command gauge to get that command gauge maxed out, you may find that you have more damage focusing all in on ice potency versus magic ability potency, right? Because you only get this additional 70% damage when that attack stance or that diamond is completely filled. And because we have that dread effect, it's a little bit harder to have that maxed out. So keep that in mind when you're trying to build out your teams. If you can't get that diamond filled out, if you don't have the command gauge increase effect, make sure you understand that, then you can change things up and go from there. That's food for thought. If you have, just make sure you have that in mind. I have a weapon that increases command gauge, so I'm gonna be fine, or at least I'll be okay. And that's why I'm still allowing magic ability potency on my team. Yuffie, very straightforward again, all ice damage here. I'm going in with magic ability potency to start with here. I do think I'm going to change Sephiroth's over to ice potency, but we're gonna do a couple of mocks here to double check and make sure. The reason why I'm doing magic ability potency is because the Rocker's guitar increases command gauge by 10% and also applies exploit weakness to our entire team, which is great. Sub weapons are all offensively focused except for the SP Rapier Next G. I'm not actually equipping this for the 28 points of magic defense. I'm equipping this for the 52 points of magic ability potency, which gets her up to the level 6 break for ice potency and the level 6 break for magic ability potency. Just gives her a little bit more damage. I could take this off and drop from the level 6 break to the level 4 break and do the 25% loss there and try to get the ice potency up, but I would have to get the ice potency up to 65 to get that 30% up. We can see if that's something we can do. Let's double check. I think I've got most of my ice potency weapons accounted for at this point. What about enhanced sword? Would this get us there? It would, and it would give her boost attack as well. This is probably stronger, right? This is probably stronger. I don't think that enhancing. I don't think that. I don't think leveling this up is going to make that big of a difference, but the extra stats are still good. So we'll level it up just in case. So yeah, so this should increase Yuffie's damage by a bit. Gives her that that extra ice potency, which does give her that extra 30%, right? Because she was at level 6, now she's at level 8. And we were only losing 70 to 45, so that's only a 25% loss. So technically this should be 5% more damage. And because it's not in magic ability potency, that's actually more damage over time as well, simply because, right, we don't have the maxed out diamond for most of the fight, right? So yeah, so that's gonna be our team. I think this is pretty solid overall. We're gonna go in and do, like I said, we're gonna do a couple of mocks just to make sure that we've got the rhythm down. I'm gonna talk about kind of my logic here. All right, so first things first, we're always gonna open up with Aerith's Crimson Fluorescence here. The reason why is because, again, her magic defense is tied specifically to her HP, so we wanna get that magic defense down as quickly as we can. Then we're gonna do an ice defense drop here and just hit twice here with our 2 DPSs before switching to defense mode on the first attack. So this first attack is going to immediately put us into a dread effect. We're gonna switch back into offensive mode here and switch to Yuffie, who's gonna use Freezing Rift. We're gonna get the rest of the magic defense down, or the ice resist down with Aerith, and then immediately use 1 attack with Sephiroth. Now Sephiroth is not going to attack again until we've maxed out this command gauge. There we go, and now Sephiroth's got full DPS. So Anguish Thrashing does remove buffs from a character. Obviously we've got our magic attack buffs off, so we're gonna have to go ahead and get those back on with Aerith here. We're gonna switch to Aerith, just get those back on. Once those come back on, we're going to immediately cast. We're gonna use Exploit Weakness with Yuffie again, make sure our Exploit Weakness is on and maximize our damage. Here comes Soul Lake Fire. We're not gonna use any ATB with Aerith here until this spot here, if it lets me. Okay, there we go. I love the lag. I love the lag in guild battles. It makes me so happy. Love, love, love. All right, so we are once again in Dread. Or no, we're not actually. I'm sorry. We are not in Dread. I apologize. Oh, now we are. Or specifically Aerith is? That's odd. No, now they all are. That was weird. Anyways, so we're gonna keep using the the Freezing Rift here. Get our magic defense back down. Make sure Exploit Weakness is on. And then hit our defense mode. So after this, we're going to be popping all of our overspeeds and just doing as much damage as humanly possible. So we're going to get our everything going. Pop our ultimate with Sephiroth. Make sure Exploit Weakness is on. All the attacks go off, and then we use our summons. So that was a little unclean there. We had a couple of moments there where our Exploit Weakness wasn't on. I had a moment there where our magic attack wasn't up and the ice defense fell off a little soon. So there was a little bit that we can clean up there, but overall, I think this is about as good as I'm gonna get. And I'm usually finishing around like, yeah, between 75 and 80 million damage is usually where I'm at. 15%, yeah, perfect. So yeah, this is about where my ceiling is right now, is about 15%. I don't think it's going to get much higher than this, honestly. In order for me to get it much higher, I would need to have Yuffie's weapon at OB10. I would need to have her Exploit Weakness weapon at OB6, right? And that's just too many resources for me to actually invest. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to change all of these to Ice Potency, because I do think that these Ice Potency materials are going to be a bit better. What I need to do first, we just got a new 5-star ice material, so I do want to try and see if this is going to be something good. 7%. Okay, if this goes up again, then we're probably, I'm absolutely going to switch these to Sephiroth. 7% is probably already enough. I'm not going to lose out on that much magic attack, because my secondary magic attack materials are actually not that good. Oh, hell yes. Okay, it's not great, but it's definitely good. We're definitely switching to Ice Potency material. The Ice Potency, you'll find, will do a little bit more for the build than the magic attack will, because it's going to increase his damage by quite a bit. We do lose about like 1,500 magic attack here, So we're gonna test it out. We're gonna make sure it works well, and we're gonna see if where the damage lies. If we see the damage number come down a bit, then we'll just put the magic attack materials back on. But I do think this is gonna be an overall damage increase. This gets our ice potency up. We are gonna see a little bit less damage on the Shiva because I didn't get Sephiroth's ultimate weapon attack. Oh, it actually did more. See, that ice potency is massive, right? When you have huge numbers like this, the ice potency numbers really do stack. 86 million, that's 10 million more damage than I was doing before. Yeah, I think this is better. Double check. 17%, that's pretty good. Other than that, I think that's pretty much our build. And it's, again, I'm going for consistency here more than like trying to like max out or cap out a build. So I do think that this build is probably what we're gonna stick with. I think this is gonna be the good one. We're just gonna pop in the official matches and give it a go. Hopefully we do closer to 15%. Like I said, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't happen. We're just gonna do the best we can and move on. Have some fun with it. And drink some water. All right, the same strat. We open with Crimson Fluorescence. We wait for the magic attack to pop on, then we hit Exploit Weakness. Then hit the Freezing Rift, and there we go. Switch to Aerith. Riot Blade. DPS. And then switch to defense. We pop Flash of Steel. Finish getting the ice resist down. And then we're going to hit the command gauge again, which is going to get our command gauge filled out. And then pop this for magic attack up. Switch to defense mode for the attack coming in. This has been targeting Aerith specifically every single time. I don't know if there's a rhyme or reason for that, but it is happening. All right, so next attack with Yuffie needs to be Exploit Weakness again, which is fine. Exploit Weakness. Go here. Switch to defense mode for the eventual. Good lord. That was a little early to switch to defense mode, obviously. It's fine, though. When we heal, we're a little low on the ATB gauge here as a result. It's okay, though. Get our magic attack back up as well. Then we're going to cast this. Gets magic defense back down. Not quite gonna get there in time. Okay. Magic defense is already down, so we're good there. So now we're just casting everything, right? Okay, I did that in the wrong order. Heck. I'm usually on Sephiroth for that attack. Shit. Yeah, that's a lot of DPS loss. That's okay. It's fine. It's fine. Oh, and Aerith didn't have magic attack up either. Okay, that was a little dirty. That's okay, though. That's okay. It happens. It is what it is. Now, these fights aren't going to go perfect. You're going to get shook up. It is what it is. Still got 15%. All right, same deal. Let's see if we can clean it up. Wait 2 seconds here. Hit our thing. Then hit on. Switch to Aerith again. We want to get our ice resist down. And then DPS here. DPS here. It's amazing. Yuffie actually does more damage than Sephiroth does. I can't adjust that in any real way, if I'm being honest. But it is something worth noting. Hold for a sec here. Here comes Anguish thrashing. It must be HP then, huh? Highest HP. I'm begging you on my hands and knees. I gotta figure out how to do that with the lag, dude. It's at the end of the day, it's my own fault for not knowing how to play around it, right? Okay. Sometimes it doesn't, it's true. It's true. Okay, did her at that time. $13, still lower. I wonder why. Was Sephiroth not a +4 there? He was. Exploit weakness was on. I wonder why I did less that time. That's weird. Never mind. I'll shut up. Never mind. All right, so I think we're good then, right? Let's just rock it one more time. That'll drop it below 50%. And then bare minimum, we'll be able to either knock this out tonight or knock it out tomorrow, right? Yeah, that was better. It's still not perfect. Like, I'm still playing a little poorly, but like, it's fine, right? It's not that serious. Sephiroth, please! Thank you. Sorry. Oh, I did this a little backwards too. It's okay though. I did that a little backwards. It's okay. Actually, this kind of worked out because now I can reapply exploit weakness here. Tried to hold that until the last second there. Okay. I think I activated that at the right time. I sure did. This is getting a little bit cleaner here. We should be in a good spot. Sephiroth's attack didn't quite get off in time, which kind of sucks, but like... Split weakness isn't in danger of falling off, so keep going. Ooh, Yuffie's attack didn't go off. And she's not in overspeed, so her damage is gonna be a little bit lower here too. Yeah, instead of 4, that did 3. Popped overspeed's a little too soon in this one. I didn't have her her buff on, so her damage is a little bit lower. $82, yeah. Expected that. That's a little bit lower, but that's fine. All right, not bad. 16%. All right, yeah, not bad. Just dropped it below, just below 50. So just did about 50.4. That's not terrible. 50.39. That's not bad. That's actually better than I was expecting I was going to do. So that was pretty good.